Yeah, sorry about that. But happy World Usability Day, and I'd like to say fuck the poor. I hope you all agree. What do I mean by that? This might show.
Morning. Can I give you some info? Morning, sir. Take a leaflet. Leaflet, guys. Morning, buddy. How are you? Would you like to take a leaflet? Fuck the poor? Would you like to take a leaflet, mate?
What do you mean, fuck the poor?
Fuck the poor. Fuck them.
That's disgusting. What's all this?
What do you think you should do?
It's hard to get a job if you ain't got a place to live.
I came from a poor country. She just fucked me as well, yeah?
They've hit rock bottom. There's a reason for that.
You should be thinking of a better way to get them off the street.
The guy's cold down there, go give him a blanket.
Is this a joke?
We're going to become bitter, bruv, inside.
I've been homeless for 2 years.
You've got no fucking heart.
I don't respect that at all.
You're just standing there like an idiot.
Do you not think it's too far? That is offensive. Fuck
Help the poor. Anyone got any spare change, folks? Help the poor. Help the poor, please, folks.
Yes, so maybe this kind of scenario feels familiar. And after all, nowadays, this is where we're currently living in. It probably won't change within the next couple of weeks. And if I ask in this audience, perhaps, does it work for you? I just assume for most of us, it does. It does work for us. So we probably work in some cool digital agency, maybe in an established corporation, maybe in some really trendy, disruptive tech company. So probably capitalism works for us. We really love and cherish our products. Maybe we don't care so much how they are made, and maybe ecological or social sustainability is not on the top of our shopping list. We travel the whole world to stay in cute rooftop apartments in really trendy areas, like Kreuzberg, for instance. Specifically, if we happen to be a newcomer to Berlin and we're labeled, for instance, an expat, a tourist, or a Zugezogener, without caring maybe too much about the implications this has for the actual local community. I think this data really shows quite nicely. All the purple blobs are Airbnb flats, and all the red dots are actually flats that are available on the market in this specific area. So much for social and economical sustainability, maybe, for these cool areas. If you happen to be a newcomer to Berlin and maybe you're labeled a refugee, your cute rooftop might look a bit different, and it might be the last chance you've actually got before you face eviction or deportation, and might be something that you cling on to. And that, by the way, was about 800 meters from this cute rooftop flat in Wrangelkiez. So maybe this somehow feels familiar. It definitely does for me, because I'm just as much part of all this bubble and of living like that and of this lifestyle. I like to drink my flat white for €3 in these areas. At least it's organic, but it's €3 and it's a flat white. But what I've been thinking about for a few years now is, so how might I actually use my skills and privileges that I have got, without a doubt, use them for something good? We've only got 20 minutes, so I won't go into deeper philosophical or economical philosophy. Is working for profit inherently evil? Is working in an NGO inherently good? We can't touch on this now. It's this flimsy thing of trying to do something good. So I made this highly scientific chart for myself. And the stuff in bold is sort of things I thought I could maybe do to do something good in my professional life. That's challenge number one. So going back to my how might we challenge in good design thinking manner, how might I use my skills and privileges for something good, at the same time, without being a complete pain in the ass. And that's very much in progress. I guess we all know activists that are a bit like these guys. So I feel specifically in Germany, there's people that really like to fight over minute details, semantics, and then completely forget what they set out to do in the end. And it's very easy to sound like Bono or Til Schweiger, and I'm not. I'm Clive. And I'm Clive. I'm the son of an English father and a German mother. That's me in bullet points. Blah, blah, blah. That's me in some more bullet points. Blah, blah, blah. And finally, 3 final blah blahs. That's me in 3 UX bullet points. And you can read a lot of UX in there, and so you can sort of figure out my UX life balance isn't that great, really. And at parties, people often ask me, so what do you actually do, Clive, UX designer? This sounds really cool. And a few years ago, I would have tried to answer, like we all maybe answer, I try to make the clients and users meet their goals and have elegant solutions that people like. Thinking a bit more about it, and specifically about the clients I had in agencies over the years, I thought maybe at the end of the day, I just do this, and maybe we all only do this. So that was an elevator pitch where I thought, it's only half impressive, really. And is that it? So I think we generally think a lot about how to design, disrupt, innovate things, but not necessarily what we're actually trying to do, why we're doing it, and for who we're doing it. And I'd say in our bubble, like at this event or in tech meetups, we like to talk about ourselves as people who can change the world, people who have got the power to solve our problems, and we like to tell each other as well. We go on and on about our superpowers as UX and UI designers, but if we think about it, how many of us use these superpowers or perceived superpowers to reach any of these goals, for instance? Or how many of us actually help to sell more shoes online or make, as I said, make some kind of rich company richer? And if we're one of these disruptive tech startups or tech companies, what kind of problems are we actually solving? Is it any of these, or is it more one of those? And here's a few I really like. So my house's mood lighting doesn't match all of my moods. That's really, we need to solve that, and we need a lot of capital to solve that. Using keys to open the door to my house is really time-consuming. I think we all feel this is really, really pressing. And my watch doesn't have a touch screen, which is shit, really. So at the end of the day, I was asking myself, is this the best we can come up with? It's amusing, and we tend to... Hang on. See if this works. It's amusing, but maybe useless. And it's something that goes viral in our communities, on our Facebook pages, but somehow we didn't really do a good job if we look at yesterday. So maybe this feeling feels familiar as well to some of us, or to some of you. And of course I asked myself, yeah, maybe it's just me. Is it this white middle-class guy, UX person in a midlife crisis, or is it a bit more? So what I did a little survey and asked 100 UX professionals around the world from my personal network and my extended network, based on purely ethical or moral reason, however you want to call it. Have you ever had second thoughts about a client or project? So maybe I can ask you as well. Has anyone had second thoughts about a client or project? Maybe by show of hands? That's quite a few. You seem quite confident. I don't believe you. At least from the 100 people, we could see that a vast majority did have these ideas or these thoughts. Again, I'll ask you again, you may be honest now, your boss isn't here. Have you ever designed something for a client that you really hate? By a show of hands. Oh, you're all so good. Are you all students? Are you self-employed? That's very good. And if we look at the results, there's still quite a lot, the green and the orange people, that weren't 100% happy with what they did. Another one was, have you ever refused to work for a certain client or project? I certainly have. Interesting, quite a few people. The numbers are declining a little bit, but still quite a lot of people. And actually, if you add it up, more people refused to do it or thought about it than people that haven't, which I thought was quite interesting. And finally, have you ever quit your job purely for ethical reasons? So you say, I can't stand this anymore, working for these people, for these clients? Still a few. Interesting. And so that sort of matches the survey really as well. I never did that, but I have refused to work for a client. By and large, 80% of the people said they do believe UX can play a role in contributing to social good, whatever that means. And 75% said, I believe in that, but I'm not doing anything about it. So this is sort of semi-impressive, I thought. So I went back to my challenge. How might I use my skills and privilege for something good? And I just want to share with you some learnings that I had along the way. So what do I learn? For one, it's definitely nothing new. People have been thinking about this for ages. So I don't know, maybe this guy is right. Or maybe this guy is right. what's a fact is that people in different areas and professions have been thinking about this and made a thing like Hippocrates Oath that we all know, for instance. Related organizations like the IXDA, they got a last bullet point which sort of says that they pledge to look at design and social impact. We're in Germany, so the German UPI, wenn ich mal nicht weiter weiß, gründe ich einen Arbeitskreis, have got quite a few here, Barrierefreiheit, Nachwuchsförderung, and usable and security privacy, which I think are all social sustainability things that at least professionals in the area have thought about. Also, quite some famous designers. You could actually buy this motto for 98 euros, which is sold out now, have decided they don't want to work for assholes and don't want to work with assholes. And obviously, this is also in the eye of the beholder, because what happens if one of your clients is seen by many people as an asshole, for instance, or maybe as not such a good thing, and maybe whose product isn't that great and sustainability after all? What do you do? And what do you do if the project you're working on is actually something quite good? So if this perceived evil corporation is actually doing a platform that helps people get on with life and actually supports sustainable products. I've got no answer to that. I'm just thinking that's sort of some kind of dilemma that we might all face as well. Another thing I learned, there's really no good excuse not to do something, especially in Berlin. So if you feel a bit like this, for instance, Juvo has got you covered, which is a platform for young designers where they can look for not-for-profit or NGOs that are looking for specific skills. It could be development or graphic design skills. You could jump on Better Place, look for your cause, and see what you could do. And a lot of these organizations just might need a website, need some social media skills. There's definitely something you can do. So I'd encourage you to find your cause or think about it first and match your skills on a platform like Better Place. You can definitely get inspired online. Here's 2 videos I'd definitely recommend. One by Kenneth Bowles of Twitter, called The Ethical Designer, and one by Mike Montero, Why Designers Destroyed the World. This is really good stuff that got me thinking a lot as well. And incidentally, Mike is talking later on at the IXDA event on Warschau Straße. I don't know if anyone's going. It is officially sold out, but maybe you're lucky on the waiting list. You'd have to check on Eventbrite. What you could also do something completely crazy, maybe read a book. I know it's a bit far-fetched, but you could go into that. What we tell our people for user research, you should get out of the building. You can do that in Berlin all of the time. For instance, you can go to something like the Space Hack, which was a hackathon for refugees, which went over 48 hours. You could join something like the Sustainability Jam, where you solve a project or a problem considering sustainability for 48 hours. That was last weekend, for instance, at the Impact Hub. I was a coach, incidentally, as well, and that was really good, and we got some really nice ideas together. You could go to Hangouts by The Changer, which is a job platform specifically for people who want to do socially oriented jobs. A lot of design jobs are there as well. Or you could visit conferences like the Better Place conference, which was in Berlin. I think it's still upcoming. I'm not quite sure. Could have been over already as well. If you're a freelancer or maybe you've got a little startup, you could use places like the Impact Hub or the Social Impact Lab that are basically co-working spaces specifically for people who have got sort of a social edge to their business. And a lot of designers work there as well. And they've also got a lot of events going on all the time. So if you check out their websites and you want to get just in touch and talk to people, there's usually also some kind of meetup there. You can donate your skills on a global level on something like the OpenIDO platform, where there's one challenge that's then going to be tackled by designers or people that are interested in solving this via design all across the globe. And it's quite some wicked problems as well that you can sign up for, and you actually work together with teams from all over the world. Or you could look for local things. For instance, a good gym. I think they were in Berlin once, but now they might appear again. It's basically a running group, but they're not only a running group, so they organize online, but then they try to jog somewhere for someone that might need help. So maybe Mrs. Jones needs her garden dug up, so they run there, do the Mrs. Jones garden thing, and help help themselves, but at the same time. As I mentioned Juvo earlier on as well, you can donate your skills there as a young designer. Or you can check out Better Place, where you can donate your time, which is basically your skills, or obviously you can just donate some money. What I definitely learned as well is try to make it a win-win thing. So for instance, these are two things that I've done in the past. I've done a little fundraiser to lose some weight. So I lost 11 kilos and raised 600 euros, whatever that says about my body 2 years ago, I don't know, for an organization called Akinda, who support unaccompanied refugee kids and youths that come to Germany, and it helps them find a legal guardian, which is quite a complicated thing in Germany, and so they're doing a great job. And in that same swing, I helped them with their first ever website, which helped me to learn about Squarespace, for instance. So try to make it a win-win and not only a drag, try to get stuff out of there for you as well. And if you're really fed up, you might really go and want to change your career. As I said, The Changer is a great platform. It's a Berlin startup as well by people who are from this social economics background, but there's a lot of design jobs there as well. You could also check out the whole B Corp movement, which is sort of a certification for sustainability and social good companies that try to have it ingrained in their mission statement that everything that they do wouldn't be evil. And they're coming to, I think they're in Berlin now as well. And quite a few products and quite a few design companies are part of this B Corporation movement. Yes, and they in their own saying, they say they aspire to use the power of markets to solve social and environmental problems. Also, if you're looking to change your career, you can actually look for agencies or design places that specifically have this claim. Like Firebelly is a nice design agency from Chicago. You've got Wigwam from Berlin who've got a similar approach. Also, maybe later stuff I've been doing lately or looking into is actually going into education. So talking to this, like an event like this, going to universities, talking to people early about this, just to show them the options that they can do. I really like the approach, for instance, of the Austin Center for Design, which was set up by an old designer from Frog, who was sort of fed up with the whole corporate world, and he set up this school in Austin which teaches you interaction design and social entrepreneurship at the same time within a year. So from the outset, you've got a different mindset. And also a big company like Cooper offers UX bootcamps where they try to solve wicked problems or social problems via the power of UX. So they're using their superpowers to do something good. Another thing I've personally been involved in lately is the Ready School. I don't know if you've heard of that. That's a really cool, I think, a really great initiative by a lady from Denmark, and they're getting good press at the moment as well. You can see Mark Zuckerberg visited them the other day. And it's basically a tech school for refugees, and we're now adding some UX tracks as well, and also some job readiness tracks where I'm trying to share my knowledge a bit as well. And it's actually a real curriculum. It's not only like a weekend thing, and they've been placed in internships with Cisco, for instance, at the Fab Lab. So some really good stuff came out of that already. So the first cohort was finished last year, I think. Yeah, then you can do stuff that I'm doing now, of course. Whatever you do, talk about it. You can spread the gospel at all kinds of events. Yes, that's a handful of things I think anyone could do, depending on the level of experience, but there's no excuse not to do something. I also learned no do-gooder is an island, so if you try to do it on your own, it's not going to be a lot of fun. And there's so many initiatives out there, as I just shown you there. You've got the Impact Hub and the Social Lab, and I get confused all the time as well. It seems that there are a lot of people want to do something, but there's no thing or organization or person or group of people that are sort of connecting the dots. I find that all over the place. So people with similar approaches that have not found each other yet, which is always interesting. So there's still a lot of work to do there. And you should really try to find a cause that you care about. It shouldn't only give you a warm sort of feeling in your gut, you should actually care about it, and find other people ideally with complementary skills. So if you're a designer, find another designer and developer, for instance, maybe a copywriter, someone who knows about social media. That makes it all the more fun. For your portfolio, but B, really for the thing, or the other way around, it should be, of course. Also, as I said, this was an experiment, so I set up this LinkedIn group for some people from my closer network to connect like-minded people, but I have to say it does feel a bit like me talking to myself most of the time. which I obviously enjoy, as you can hear. But I'm not sure if I'm going to switch that off and maybe just have some curated Twitter lists or maybe something on Product Hunt to get it out there and not so exclusive. So I'm really not quite sure yet where this is going to lead. Everything you do, what's really important, I think, is also that you don't just treat it like your little side project or my little do-goody, feel-good project. You really need focus, commitment, and at the end of the day, it should be fun. But I've learned from some of the projects that I've done, if you haven't got a group of team members that have got the same commitment and can actually say, this is what we want to do within a certain time, like in a normal project, it won't happen or will be more frustrating, and someone will end up doing more work than the others. I mean, this is always the case in a real job as well. We all know this. But try to get a good team together. That's really important as well. And so, yeah, if it's not fun, it's not sustainable for yourself. I can tell you that now. And it would just be frustration on the behalf of the organization you're trying to help and on your own as well. So, what's next? I'd really encourage you to try and use your superpowers and maybe try to connect these dots in our local, it could be a university, workplace, in your local tech community and design community. Perhaps in Berlin, this could be a regular meetup around this kind of topic, which I'm not aware of that it exists. It could be maybe a hackathon or a jam as well, which hasn't been there yet, I think, specifically for the UX usability community. In any case, just hit me up. You can follow me on Twitter. Check SlideShare. There's one presentation that I held about a month ago where most of these links and URLs are in, so you could find them there. And yes, so I trust you to find me. I'm CK Lavery on most of the internet. And yes, and of course, if you need some freelance UX support, I'm there for you as well with my fine little superpower gear. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Hello? Yeah. Thanks a lot for this talk. Yeah. Very nice links, probably, to start with. Are there any questions in the audience for Clive? No one? All questions answered? So how many digital do-gooders are here in the audience? Who is using his or her powers to do good? 2, 3, 4, you? 4, 5, 6, 7, well, yeah. There's
everyone will browse these links with Ecosia next week. So
yes.
Everyone's going to be a do-gooder?
Yes, that's good. That's right. So,
is anyone struggling or trying to break into it and is not feeling that they know where to go yet, maybe? Oops, sorry. No? Oh, there was one show of hands there. Okay. Okay. If not?
No, over there.
Over there?
Can a volunteer please go over there at the end of the middle section?
That's all right. Here's my call. I take that as a sign from above, maybe.
Wake up call.
Yeah.
It's just
a show of hands. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. But maybe just a show of hands. Who thinks there's something in there, or who thinks it's a bit blah blah and sounds nice, but it's not really practical, and we'll probably just go on doing our stuff and maybe doing a few pro bono things, but maybe I'm wrong. So who thinks there's something in there? Maybe with a show of hands. That's quite good. Who's thinking of actually doing something about it? Maybe after this talk or in general? Well, then I'd say my job here is done. Thank you very much.